Welcome back to Sorare Assist. Adam here, and the end of season sale has started, and today I'll be highlighting some top targets you should consider for your SO5 squads. If you like this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not signed up to Sorare yet, sign up using the link below to get a free limited card and 13 common cards. Okay, so the end of season sale is now here, and today I'm going to be picking the top targets in terms of price and quality for the SO5 scoring. Today I'm going to be picking players from the Turkish Super Lig, and this is part 2 of this little mini series. If you want early access to these scouting videos, then join my Patreon or become a member of this YouTube channel by clicking that join button below. None of this content is financial advice, and always do your own research. Okay, let's get stuck into today's video then. So today I'm going to be highlighting midfielders and forwards. In part 1 I highlighted goalkeepers and defenders, so check back on the channel if you've not catched that video yet. So the first player I've gone for is Edin Visker of Trabzonspor, 32-year-old. Absolutely fantastic player this guy, consistent scorer as well. L15 of 65 and L40 of 62. His limited is going for around 142 at the moment, and his rare is going for around 880. Now if you look at his price graph, 1,855 here. This was just back in March. There's also a sale of 1,000 of 899 on the 24th of March. And more recently, someone's picked him up for £880. So as you can see, they've got a fantastic huge saving here compared to the price back here. Now, if we looked at his limited price, his limited card was going for 326 here, 308 here, 278, and more recently is sold for 144, which again looks like a real steal, especially for a guy who's going to be churning out scores like this. As you can see, there's very little amber scores here, 30 to 40 scores and 2 20 to 30 in the last year. The rest of the scores are 90s, 80s, 60s, 70s. Absolutely fantastic scores here. He scored 9 goals as well in the last year and 12 assists. So this guy looks a really fantastic option in midfield. Another fantastic option is Emir Hadzimetovic of Konyaspor. Only 25 as well, an L15 of 64 and an L40 of 59. Now his limited at the moment is going for around 72 and his rare is going for around 583. Now if we look at his rare price back here, it was going for 728, 750. More recently someone's picked him up for 580. So again another fantastic saving of around £200. Limited was going for around 110 here, 110, £100 here. And his limited back here is going for £70, so that's a £30 saving on his limited card. Now this guy is going to reward you with some fantastic scores as well, as you can see here. Some really good numbers here as well for a midfielder. He's got 2 goals as well and 4 assists in the last year. He's got a fantastic all-round score of average of 20. He started all 41 games in the last year as well. He wasn't in the squad of 3 of those, but he didn't have any sub appearances for Konyaspor, so he's a regular starter for them. Looks like a very good option. Next up, you've got Alexandru Maxim of Gaziantep. He's got L15 of 63 and L40 of 59. The 31-year-old is available for £42 for his limited at the moment and 447 for his rare. Now if we look at his graph, it was going for 543 back here in February, 649 in March. More recently, someone snapped him up at 427. So looks like a really good saving for me for a quality player. And his limited was going for 98 here, 88 here. This was just at the end of March. And more recently, someone's picked him up for £39. Someone's already done their budget shopping in preparation for next season. And this is a wise move at this stage of the season. Now, if we look at his scores, he's got some absolutely brilliant scores here. He's also got a score of 100 here as well, more recently in game week 254. And he's got 14 goals and 8 assists in the last year. Looks like a very consistent player and another fantastic option. Another fantastic option is Faikal Fajer of Savispor. He is 33 now, but he's got an L15 of 51, L40 of 54. Limited is going for around £11 at the moment, and his rare is going for around 108. Now if we look at his rare price back here, it was going for around 920, 686. More recently someone's picked him up for £108, which looks like a really cheap price to me. Something to bear in mind here is that his contract does come to an end with Savispor at the end of this season, so it might be worth doing a bit of research just to see where he is likely to go next season, or if he is due to stay at Savispor, which would probably be the best outcome. Now in terms of his scores, he's got some really good numbers here, including a 100 score here and also a 99 score here. And he's scored 5 goals and 4 assists in the last year, so it looks like another viable option, currently at a budget price as well. Next up, I've got Abdulkar Amir. He is only 22 and he's got under 23 eligibility as well until July 2023, and also a long contract with Trabzonspor. L15 of 52 and L40 of 54. Now his limited at the moment is going for around £50 and his rare is going for around 501. Now if we look at his graph, he's got a sale here of 1,464 on auction, 1,600 here, that was just in December, 1,000 here in January. More recently someone snapped him up for £386, which looks an absolute bargain to me, especially for a player who's still eligible for the under 23 division. Now if we look at his limited card, his limited was selling here for 170, bit steeper here at 223, 185 here as well, and £448 more recently here as well on auction for his limited. I do expect him to be a regular starter next season, especially now Bakasetas is set to leave. I think he's already left in fact, so Amir is going to get more game time in that attacking midfield position. Looks like a really good option to me. Another good midfield option is Efekan Karaka of Allianspor. He's only 32, he's got an L15 of 52 and an L40 of 54. Now his limited is going for a very cheap looking £5 and his rare is going for an even cheaper looking 83. Now if we look at his price graph, he was going for 290 here, 291 here, 285 here. More recently someone's picked him up for £83, which looks an absolute steal to me. Now if we look at his limited card, his limited is going for around 38 here, 35. More recently someone's picked him up for £5, looking a really cheap budget option to me. Now the other good thing about Karaka, he has got a very long contract with Alanyaspor, considering he's 32, and his contract doesn't expire until June 2025. So these prices to me are looking really good deal. Now if we look at his scores, he's got some absolutely fantastic scores as well. 95, 72, 70 and 88 here. A 100 score as well here. So he's looking a really consistent player. Gets more assists than goals. He's got 13 assists in the last year and 5 goals as well. Regular starter though for Alanyaspor, and he's got a long contract. So it's all stacking the odds that Karaka is going to be a potential good pickup, especially at these sort of prices as well. Looks a really good option to me. Now Karaka's teammate Emre Akbaba is also a good option. He's 29. Now his contract does expire with Alanyaspor in the summer, so it's another one that you might need to research, make sure he's going to stay at the club or potentially move to another decent club. He's got an L15 of 50 and an L40 of 52. Limited is going for around £7 at the moment and his rare is going for around £80. Now if I look back here, his rare is going for 386, 415 here, 328 here. More recently someone's picked him up for £81. I mean, this is looking a real steal to me. Probably due to his contract situation and also the end of season sale as well. 65 for his limited here, 54 here. More recently someone's picked him up for £7.68. That looks like money well spent to me, especially if he is going to stay at Alanyaspor for another season or so. Now if we look at his scores as well, he's capable of these high scores that are going to get you high up in the rankings, including a 100 score here in game week 237. He's got 10 goals as well and 4 assists in the last year. Looking a very budget option to me, really good option, especially with the end of season sale. We've got Mia Sakic here as well for Fenerbahce, 27, L15 of 60 and an L40 of 51. Going for 29 for his limited and 308 for his rare at the moment. Now this price has gone up a little bit because he has been on more recent good form, as you can see, but I thought it's another one worth mentioning anyway. It was at his peak around here of 383, but more recently someone has picked him up for 325, so still a saving here. Similar story for his limited card as well. The peak here was 60, more recently someone's picked him up for half price at £28. So again, another viable option. And as you can see from his scores, he's got some absolutely fantastic scores here. Does seem to have gone into the first team around this period here. He did make some appearances, but he's also started 33 of the games. He's scored 11 goals as well in the last year and 1 assist. So looks like another potential good option in midfield. So on to the forwards now then, and the first one I've gone for is Yunus Akgun of Adana Demirspor. Now this guy has under 23 eligibility until July 2025 as well, and he's only 21. Now he's got an L15 of 51 and an L40 of 54. His limited card is going for around £78 at the moment, and his rare is going for around £683. Now his rare back here was going for £2,000, 1,687 here, 1,349. More recently, someone's picked him up for 692. Now that is a huge saving on an under 23 player who is only 21. His limited was a similar story, 312 here, 306 here, 281 here. More recently, someone's picked him up for £76. Again, this is looking like a fantastic deal to me for a quality under 23 player. Now, if we look at his scores, he's showing some absolutely fantastic scores. He's got a 100 here, 97 in his last match, which was a 7-0 win against Göztepe. He's got a 70 here, 84, 83. These are really good scores for a young player who, as I say, is only 21. He's scored 8 goals and 9 assists in the last year. To me, it's looking a really good budget option here for a quality player. Another good player is Jackson Maleka. Now, he's been on loan at Kasimpasa this year, and he is due to go back to Standard Liège, but it doesn't look like he's going to be staying at Standard Liège, and he could potentially move on to a different club. There are a few clubs interested in Maleka after his fantastic form on loan at Kasimpasa, and Kasimpasa are also ones that are looking to hopefully retain his services. He's got an L15 of 65 and an L40 of 52. Obviously, with the transfer saga ongoing, it might be worth keeping an eye on the news with Maleka, see where he is going to end up. That's obviously going to potentially affect his SO5 scores. His limited is going for around 114 at the moment, and his rare is going for around 650. He does have under 23 eligibility as well until July 2024, as he's only 22 at the moment. Now, his price has gone up. That is due to his form with Kasimpasa, but it's another one that was worth mentioning because he is still a fantastic player. Limited was a similar story as well, but if we have a look at his scores, especially more recently for Kasimpasa, he's been on absolutely fantastic score form and he's been banging in the goals. He's got 14 goals and 4 assists in the last year. Most of the goals come in this period here for Kasimpasa, but he's also showed fantastic goal threat in general for Standard Liège when he did get the opportunity at the Belgian club. So this could be an interesting one, looking cheap for me for an under 23 forward. Now, another good option is also a player at Kasimpasa, and that is Umut Bozok. He's not on loan though, but his contract does end in June 2022, so it's again another one worth researching. He is only 25, an L15 of 54 and an L40 of 56. Limited is going for around £47 at the moment, and his rare is going for around 411. Now, if we look at his graph, he was selling here for 824, 715 here. More recently, someone snapped him up on the 21st of May for £418, which is around a 50% discount. Now, his limited is a similar story, 134 here, 125, 114. More recently, someone snapped him up for £45. So another potential good option, especially when he's going to reward you with some good scores like this. As you can see, some really good scores, mostly attributed to his goals and assists. He's got 20 goals and 7 assists in the last year. So I can't see why Bozok would potentially find another good club with this goal tally, or even sign another contract with Kasimpasa potentially. One to keep an eye on. So that was all the selections in this part 2 of the Turkish end of season sale video. If you did like this video, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you've not seen part 1 yet, do check back on the channel, the video is already on there. And you can also become a member of this YouTube channel now as well by clicking that join button below. You'll get early access to scouting videos like this from me, or join the Patreon where you'll get exclusive videos and early access. And if you're not signed up to Sorare yet, there is a link in the description below if you did wish to do that to get a free limited card and 13 incoming cards. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.